Assalamu alaikum, everyone, and welcome to this new episode of Behind the Veil. Today, Alhamdulillah, I'm so happy to be joined by the beautiful Naeema Akhtar. I hope I said your name right. I'm saying it with a bit of an Arabic twist. I don't
Oh,
know
no,
if that's
it's
okay.
perfect. You said it perfectly. I'm so glad to be here today.
Alhamdulillah, how are you, Naeema?
Alhamdulillah, I am very, very well. I know we've been trying to organize this for the longest time, so I'm just grateful to be here, to have been able to take some time out of the morning to have this conversation with you.
Me too, me too. Guys, I've been trying to get Naima on the podcast for the longest time, as she just mentioned. But now that she's here, Alhamdulillah, I want you to take advantage of her beautiful energy and her knowledge as well. I know what you do, Naima, but for someone who's discovering you or rediscovering you, what is your mission? What is it that you do?
My mission is to change the way marriages are operating in the world that we see today. Like, we have lost the balance. And when I mean balance, that masculine, feminine dynamic. Funnily enough, when people see me, they're probably thinking, you're not that girly, you're not that soft. But I don't mean that. I mean, women especially, they can be their authentic selves, they can have their quirks, but we go back to celebrating feminine energy, which I know you talk so much about already, but celebrating the things that make us a woman, that allow us to be the nurturers in our home, that allow us to create beautiful spaces in our family, to create that environment where a man, a husband can thrive as well and be able to bring that balance back. So that's what I do. I help women through the way they communicate, what they embody, how they show up for themselves, how they take care of themselves, how they honor their needs, so many things. But that is my work. And alhamdulillah, I've been doing that for a good couple of years now. I've lost count, like 2, 3 years now. And it's been amazing because I'm seeing the shift. We're seeing couples feeling happier, feeling more content, feeling like they're not butting heads every day. So yeah, that's what I do. Definitely go and check out my page. I do post on my Instagram a lot where I may post a few tips and tricks here and there, but I do hold a program as well, called the Peaceful Passionate Marriage, where I go deep into those skills I was just talking about.
Yeah, and your content is also very inspiring. I know
Thank
for a fact
you.
because all of my clients know you and they absolutely love the way that you talk and the knowledge that you're sharing. Now, we all have a reason why we fell into personal development and coaching. What's your story with that? What led you there?
Okay, so my story is not this whole like I was struggling deeply, like I was on the brink of divorce kind of situation. It wasn't like that. It was very much where, alhamdulillah, me and my husband, we have a good relationship. We have, like every couple, our issues at the beginning. We have our struggles, our communication issues as well. But I realized something very early on into my marriage that when me and my husband are good, when we're getting along, there's this different sense of peace that I have, and it trickles into everything. When me and him are good, we're parenting our children better. Our businesses are thriving. We're happier. The house, even if it is a mess, even if there's laundry that hasn't been put away and there's dishes piling, it's still okay. But when me and him aren't happy together, when we aren't thriving together, everything becomes a problem. From that little thing that I may have dropped on the floor to the way he's breathing, it becomes a problem. So I was like, hold on a second. There's something here that, I'm sitting on something amazing here. If I can work through this myself, if I can truly learn the mistakes that I'm making and focus on what I can do differently, I'm a go-getter. Like, when I see a problem, I like to fix it in my life. If I can work on this, then I feel like my life can be better. My life can be a lot better. I learned a long time ago that it's not about how much more money you make, how nice the house is, or how nice the car is. I feel like I was way past that at this point. So for 3 to 4 years, this journey of becoming a better me so that I can be a better wife started. And I was already coaching at this point. I was coaching many women. in the mental health industry. And then I decided one day during COVID, I was jumping on the trampoline outside with my kids, and it was just like a moment where I said to my husband, I want to coach other women on their marriage. And he looked at me and he was like, go for it. Why don't you do it? And I was like, I want to do it. It was almost like Allah was telling me, this is your thing. Like, this is what you're good at. This is what you're passionate about. And from then on, it just became like this burning mission, this fire inside of me that do you know they say that what is that one thing you will do for the rest of your life? Even if you weren't to get paid for it, even if it doesn't make sense to anyone else, it would be this. Because every single time I see a woman that's got that sparkle in her eye, she's happy, she's at peace. Honestly, she's in a good relationship with herself. And if she is married, she's got a good relationship with the man that she's with. And I know that may not sit right for some people, that are going through a tough patch in their relationship. They've gone through a divorce, and wallahi, my heart goes out for them. But I see this in the women in my family, my friendship groups. When a woman is loved right, when she is in that thriving marriage, she shines differently. And I'm not making this up. Maybe it's just me saying it, but I'm sure many of you see this too. Sumaya, I know you got married recently, and I promise you, I think I messaged you saying, "Girl, there's a shine about you."
Putting me on the spot right there. Everyone has been saying that thing about me glowing differently since I got married. But yeah, if we take it to the scientific side of things, studies will show that relationship, spirituality, and health are the most important things in a human being's life. Those are the
Yeah.
things that will impact your well-being the most. As you said, it's not the wealth, it's not the career, it's not the things that we think it could be.
Those are bonuses that are nice. We want that too.
Of Of course. Now, you said so much that I want to slow down to. The first thing is when a woman is loved right, what does it mean for a woman to be loved right?
Oh, so much. You know where she is heard and understood, she is felt, she is celebrated. I'm not just talking about the designer bag and I'm not even going to say that's not nice. We love all of those things. Her bills are getting paid, she's getting pampered. But when she is deeply seen and understood and celebrated for her feminine energy. So, what I mean by this is I'll give you an example. So, I have a friend and I've had clients in the past that say, I do so much. I'm a doctor. I'm a lawyer. I have thriving businesses. Why doesn't my husband appreciate that? I'm like, yeah, I get it. Like you want him to appreciate those things. But do you not want to be also celebrated and seen for the warmth that you bring into the home, just the way you are, the way you exist, the fact that you have these emotions, these feelings, the fact that you can feel so deeply, the way that you make him feel as a man as well. So when she's appreciated and celebrated for, those feminine qualities that she holds, her compassion, her the way she is just so magnetic, the way she can be alluring, the energy that she brings. Literally, I'm talking about that. I know you already talk about that so much, so I don't want to go into that. Do you not want to be celebrated for that? Because I feel like because we're living in such a masculine world, even us as women, we can be like, celebrate me for what I've achieved, celebrate me for my business hitting six figures, celebrate me for the house I was able to buy, celebrate me for my degree, which you should be celebrated for. But I do feel like when a woman is then celebrated with her, like from her spouse, he recognizes those feminine traits inside of her, she will show up differently. She will also begin to flourish a lot more. And obviously, that begins from her being able to um, appreciate her own feminine energy as well.
Yeah, what I'm hearing when you're saying a woman who's being loved right is a woman who's being heard and seen, it's this concept of safety, which I feel is very important for us women, whether it's in relationship or in anything that we take part of. So that's the first thing. Now, I'm curious to know if that's the ideal scenario, what is the issue that your clients come to you with the most?
So the issue that my clients, so like you said, the safety thing, is they're not feeling safe enough to let their guard down. they're hearing stories every single day of men are like this, men are like that. We can't trust men. Men are mummy's boys. Men are emotionally unstable. Men are chaos. They have no emotional intelligence. Whether you've been in a relationship for a long time or you're going into a relationship, do you know how damaging that is for having a relationship now with a man who you want him to be in that masculine energy, you want him to give safety, but you're already going in there scared.
Yeah.
You're already going in there not trusting. You're already going in there. Of course, I'm not saying be stupid. I'm not saying be delusional. That is very dangerous. I'm not saying go in there being a lover girl and giving everything like without thinking twice about how you're being treated. What I'm saying is when you're going in there already not trusting, not tr allowing yourself to trust your intuition to say, okay, I will know when something doesn't feel safe. I will know when this situation doesn't feel good for me. And, I'll deal with that then. You're already going in there assuming the worst of your spouse.
Mm.
I see this with couples all the time on both sides, but obviously my work is more catered to the women. They may have had abusive fathers. They may have had mothers who were burnt out. They may have really tied their worth to what they achieve. They may be dealing with perfectionism. There's so much that they're struggling with. And honestly, it's really about feeling confident with yourself. And what I mean by confidence is knowing that you are a person that can be celebrated. You are a person that can be lovable. You are a person that can be heard and accepted without feeling like you're in this constant chase of, I need to prove myself. I need to keep myself safe. I need to be wary of this guy because I don't know if I can trust men yet. So it's all of that. And naturally, that will all show up in the way you communicate with him, the way you're making him feel, the way you're showing him love. There's so many things that it just trickles down into. And really, again, it comes down to you feeling safe as a woman, because the way a man protects himself is very much like, okay, I'm gonna get my boxing gloves on. I'm gonna fight anyone that comes my way. As a woman, the way you're protecting yourself is by nurturing yourself so you can start trusting your gut instinct. The way you protect yourself isn't by, I'm going to be more mouthy, I'm going to get more loud, I'm going to get more aggressive. It's actually not like that. We've resulted in that. But the way as a woman you can be protective of yourself, which is just as important, is knowing that I trust myself. I know my worth fully, so that if something feels off, I will know.
Yeah.
I will know how to set my boundaries. I will know how to remove myself from that situation. I am competent enough to be able to remove myself from that situation and know that that isn't for me. So
Mm.
yeah, I feel like we've covered a few things there, but I'm just going with the flow here.
No, no, absolutely. And so there's so much that you said that is related to the program that I used to teach when it came to personal development and healing. And part of it was all about limiting beliefs. And what I would teach my clients was that it all starts with the way that they perceive Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala because of the hadith Qudsi that says, I am as my servant sees me. And a lot of the time women don't trust Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I work with only Muslim women. I don't know about you, Naima. But when they don't trust Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it affects the way that they see the world, the way that they see themselves as well. When they don't have that strong and beautiful connection with their creator, they tend to not have a positive image of themselves as well as
Mm,
creation. So that's the
yeah.
second thing. The way that you see yourself is also going to impact your relationship with your spouse. Or when you get on that journey of finding a spouse, if you have a low self-esteem, obviously that will impact the choice that you make in terms of life partner. And then the way that you see the world is the third thing. So you spoke about it. A lot of women have trust issues. And let me tell you something. I am part of a lot of Facebook groups reserved for Muslim
Talk
women.
about the Facebook groups.
Oh my God, the horror stories. Alhamdulillah, like my husband is amazing, but I find myself being paranoid just reading those stories and thinking maybe my neighbor is like that. Maybe because, okay, let's rewind a little bit because some women are not in those Facebook groups, and maybe that's for the best actually. But there are loads of Facebook groups where Muslim women who don't have a lot of friends or they don't have anyone to confine in will come and seek advice, and a lot of the time it is relationship related. 90% of the time, it's related to their marriage. There are groups that are just dedicated to negative experiences with men while in the process of looking for a spouse. And those stories are horrific sometimes. There's abuse, there's really things that you would not wish on anyone. And reading that makes you think, are every man like that? Are they all a threat to us women? And when you don't have positive stories to balance these negative experiences that you hear about, you're not even part of any of them, you're just hearing about them, it really affects the way that you see the world and the way that you see men. And so my first advice for the women who, let's say, has had a healthy relationship with her dad, with her brothers, with the men around her, but who's part of these groups, is get out of them. Okay, like Naeema said, you need that balance of not being too naive. But if you haven't had heavy trauma related to men, that means your intuition is probably in place. It's probably intact. Now, we're not talking about the woman that needs to do inner work to get to a place where she can trust herself. We're talking about the woman who's on the path of healthy childhood and healthy relationship with men throughout her life. Don't be in those groups. Don't be reading women's issues with their husband. Don't be talking to your friend who have terrible marriages, because this is going to impact the way that you see men in general, especially if you're not married. And if you are married, then it's also going to impact the way that you talk to your husband, the way that you act with him and behave with him. And I think our environment are a lot more important than we think and believe. I don't know what you think about that.
Oh my God. Oh, so I agree with you so much. I was actually on a live with another sister recently, and I said to her, I hate those groups. I don't say the word hate very lightly, but if you want a pill to get depressed, I can't offer that to you, but I will say to you, go to the group because you will be depressed if you go on that group. I'm telling you, they are horrible. I don't think it's normal for a human to access like information of that many disturbing stories. It's not normal. Think about it. We live in the world of the internet, which means we have easy access to a lot of traumatic stories at your fingertip.
Yeah.
Now imagine you're sitting there on that group reading that. You're going to, leave your bedroom after just reading those few posts. If I am affected by that after I read that, I actually don't go on Facebook for that reason because I just can't. And then I'm looking at my husband like, oh my God, like, are men capable of that? It's
Yeah.
horrible. It really is horrible. Your environment is everything. This is why I say to people as well, why are you still with that girl who, like, may Allah make it easy for her, who just comes and trauma dumps on you all the time? I'm very, very, very particular about the friends I have. Not everyone's going to like that. They're going to be like, oh, well, that's not nice. You're meant to be supportive. Yeah, I will coach people. I will offer advice. I will tell you about how to have a healthy relationship. But I'm not sitting there allowing people to give me all of their bad experiences and letting that affect me because that's not going to be very helpful for anyone here. Um, it's very dangerous, the company that you have. I'll tell you a little story about this actually. I had a client once that came to me and says, my husband is so controlling. He's so controlling. I'm a woman that's very smart, but he's saying to me that you can't speak to this cousin of yours and you can't be with this friend and he is controlling. Is he being abusive? I was like, all right, hold on a second. Let's just rewind a bit because I know there's two sides to everything. Turns out, right, that of course this man is getting agitated. Of course this man is getting frustrated because every single time she's with this group of this friendship group or with that cousin, she's coming back and she's guarded. She's getting upset over little things. She's, not trusting his intentions. And as a man, his job is to be protective over his family. Now, if you're a woman who is around all of these traumatic situations and listening to don't trust men, be wary of men, when you go back to your own husband, that is going to affect you. And as a man, it is your job to look out for your wife, protect her, even protect her from the energy she surrounds herself with. The thing is, in this day and age, as women, it's very hard. We don't like being told what to do. I'm going to be honest. You don't like being told what to do. So now hearing a man say, I don't want you to be around that girl. you're going to see, hold on a second, who are you? You're being abusive. You're trying to cut off my connection. You're trying to cut me off from the world. So even like things like this, we need to be very wary. We may be misinterpreting a man's intentions just because of who we surround ourselves with. I'm a very realistic person. I will talk to people about the real things that happen in my relationship. My husband will often say things to me, I don't want you to do this, and I don't want you to do that. He's not this guy that's just like, yeah, do whatever you want. Honey, do what you want. I'm okay with it. Husband's actually a very strict guy. He'll be like, I don't want you to do this. I don't want you to go here. I don't want you to go to this place after a certain time. And guess what? Me, I'm like, okay. Do I like it? No, I want to go to that place, but I'm like, okay. And I can appreciate it and I love it. Deep down, I love it. I love having a man that protects me. But I've also had friends that are like, that's so strange. Doesn't he trust you? Like, come on, you're not a kid anymore. You're 28 years old and he doesn't let you go to those places. And now I've started to tell them, it's coming from a place of him protecting me, and now they see it too. And now they go back to their husbands and say, when their husbands will say, oh, I don't want you to be out after Maghrib, they're like, oh, okay, thank you so much. We love and appreciate that now. So it really does make a huge difference to who you surround yourself with, because it could have been me, where I'm looking at my husband's good intentions, the things that my husband is trying to protect me from, and say, no, I don't like it. I'm an independent woman. You don't need to protect me. And see him as being controlling or being that man who's trying to lock me in the house away from the world. Of course, there actually are people out there, but the more you're around people who are healed and have a healed perspective on men, the more you'll be able to trust that my husband is being protective. He's being a man who is being a protector of our family, and I love and appreciate that.
Absolutely. Yeah. And of course, we're talking about relationship where there's no abuse and
Oh, yeah.
the
We're
healthy.
not talking about abusive relationships. Run, run.
100%. We always need to make that disclaimer, because some women might be listening and being in an abusive type of relationship, thinking, well, maybe I should stay with this person and maybe I should.
No. I'm going to point something out here as well, because I get this a lot where women will come to me and say, I am in this relationship that is, they won't even say the word abusive, but they'll be like, it's like this, it's like that, this is what's happening. How do I make it work? For me, when I hear, how do I make it work? As the coach, I'm not here thinking I need to make her do more, be more, listen more, be more submissive. I'm thinking, how can I allow this woman to see that she's worthy of better?
Mhm.
So I will have women that come to me. The work isn't always let me make them connect more and listen more, be more submissive. It's not always that. Sometimes it's actually, how can I allow this woman to see her self-worth? How can I allow her to see that she can trust herself to remove herself from this situation? How can I stop her from being an enabler in this situation as well, where she's enabling this abuse? I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It is abuse at times. I don't always work with those cases. It's actually very rare that I work with those cases, because my relationship work is mainly to do with women who are with level-headed, sensible men who aren't evil and toxic and trying to ruin your life. It's more about making two people who are good work together, connect, and have more understanding as well.
Yeah. Yeah, because and just to end on that topic, narcissism, which is a term that comes up a lot recently, is actually a very small percentage of the people out there. I think it's only 1% of people that will actually be real narcissists. Now,
Yeah.
let's talk about the normal cases, the general situations. The situation right now, as you said, it is that women are a lot more independent. They are chasing their dreams when it comes to professional career. They are financially free most of the time. Do you think it's possible for a woman to be the thriving type, the boss type outside of the home, and still come back home and be a feminine version of herself, who's at peace with her husband, who's a nurturing mother? And I know the answer to that question. So the following question is going to be, how do we do that then?
You can do a lot as a woman. You're actually very skilled as a woman. Um, there's different levels to this, I think. Like, for example, if you're working in an office space, in a very masculine, structured office space, there's going to be certain things that you're going to have to accept. It's not going to be according to your menstrual cycle where you're taking your breaks and your holidays. I get that. I get that. But alhamdulillah, like I 100% believe you can be that woman who's thriving. Um, some women may see that, you know what, I am working, I do have my own money, and my husband is that man who's working. And you can sometimes shaitan can get to you as well, where you start thinking, why do I actually need him? Why, what value does he bring into my life if I am also working? But not only am I working, I'm cooking, I'm nurturing the children, I'm soft and warm with him. What value does he bring into my life if I can do all of those masculine things as well, which is like provide for myself, I can give myself nice things. If I wanted to, I could pay the bills. So I think this is where it comes down to, and this is a journey that I've been on myself, and this is what I'll say to other women that I know that are doing those things, like having a thriving business, that are working to excel in other areas of their life. Allow your husband to still be the man, which means that you're not taking now on that role, which is like, now this is my responsibility to be that provider. You're not looking at it like, oh, now I need to get into survival mode and start thinking about when the bills are due and start tiptoeing over his shoes. Let him do that. Do you know why? When you let him do that, you're actually operating in your businesses, in your workplace from a place of safety. Alhamdulillah, like I've had a lot of businesses. I was telling my clients about this just yesterday. I've had a lot of businesses, but the reason why this one has been a huge success, when I mean success, I'm not just talking about like financially, it's been a huge success, like in terms of money. I'm talking about the peace that I'm at doing this business is because I'm not in survival mode here. I feel safe. My husband allows me to feel safe. He's still doing what he needs to do. I'm letting him do what he needs to do, and I'm operating in my business. So this business has come from a place that I'm feeling safe. I'm feeling relaxed. I'm feeling taken care of, and I can also thrive. And it just feels nice. I feel like the impact of this one has just been huge
Mm.
compared to everything else when I was in survival mode. And I say to women, if you've got that place where you can have a husband and a marriage and a business and the work that you do, be deeply grateful. Tell him every day. Tell him where you can. Thank you for letting me do what I do and taking care of me. Thank you for allowing me to do what I do from that place of feeling safe and
Mm.
being taken care of. And going back to that softer place of wanting to be taken care of will allow you to thrive in both areas. I think it actually makes you achieve a lot more as well.
Yeah, because that's how Allah created us as women. Yeah.
Yeah.
And but you know, a lot of us are actually addicted to survival modes because when you are in that state of mind, it's like being chased by a lion. You work
Oh, yeah.
so much more efficiently. You run a lot faster and you get things achieved a lot faster as well. And your brain kind of think that survival mode is a great way to reach your goals. But the truth is that you will burn out if you stay in that place. And
Mm,
for a lot of women who were raised in an environment where they had to be in survival mode and they could not rely on healthy masculine figures, it's hard to step out of that when they get married to a healthy masculine man. But it's not impossible. And I think
it's
the work
possible.
that you do and the things that you just mentioned, just like surrendering. Surrendering, and again, it comes with having tawakkul in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So if you struggle to trust Allah in general, how do you expect yourself to trust his creation, your husband, yourself? So again,
Yeah.
it's for me, it's like it all comes back to the relationship that we have with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because the truth is that what you said about intuition earlier, a lot of women, I'm sure, were listening and thinking, well, I don't even know what that means. I don't know what it
Oh,
means to be
yeah.
connected to my intuition. And I think that's a very spiritual thing as well. And again, you have to go back to your relationship with Allah. Because a woman who's connected to intuition, her intuition, is a woman who will understand if anything is wrong here, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will protect me. He will send me the signs. He will give me a way out. And even if things end in a way that is painful, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will heal me. He will
Yeah.
take care of me after that. He will bring me on a different path that will be more fulfilling for myself. Like khair, there's khair in absolutely everything for the believer. I think that for me, that's the definition of intuition. It's not like some mystical thing.
Oh no, I'm a simple girl. I'm not going into all of this mystical stuff. It's really that simple. It's that trust that you have with Allah. Even when I say things like trust yourself, trust your husband, trust, like we're human. We're very much human. When I say have confidence, the confidence that I have as a Muslim is very different from the confidence a non-Muslim would have, by the way. The confidence that I have, I would say I'm a confident woman. I have trust in my husband. I have trust in myself, not because of how great we are. It's because I trust the position that Allah has given my husband in my life. I am confident because I know very deeply the skills Allah has given me and the qualities Allah has given me, and I celebrate that. Um, I say to my husband sometimes as well that, you're so lucky. You're so lucky you have me in your life. And he's like, yeah, go on, tell me why. I'm like, you're so lucky because me, I am so protected by Allah. I am so taken care of. Allah always blesses me. And you, by marrying me, get to take part in my blessings. And he's like, oh, you're so full of yourself. I'm not being full of myself because I think I'm all that. I'm full of myself because I know my Allah is all that. I am full of myself because I know my Allah so well. He has always taken care of me, even when I was scared,
Mm.
even when I was worried. And that deeply grounds me. That deeply grounds me as when I was, a young mom, when I didn't know what was happening next, when we were struggling, I always knew it. It's just like, do you know when you picture it? My most comforting image I have in my head is like, I don't know the next step, but Allah knows it, and that's good enough for me because I'm a baby. I don't really know what's happening. So building that trust with Allah is just an absolute game changer, and not just on the surface. It's this deep one where it's so unshakable that everything else that comes after that, every relationship that you have with after that, you're just like, okay, I can just tune in. I can just tune in because Allah's taking care of me. But that doesn't mean that you don't then obviously make good decisions and sound decisions and you stay in like toxic cycles of, of course, have your trust of Allah, but learn the skills that you need to learn as well.
Mm. And tie your camel. Yeah, absolutely.
Your camel, yeah.
Yeah, what you described is just the definition of husnul dhan, just having good expectation of him. Like it was beautiful the way you said it. You knew that he was going to take care of you no matter what. He's got you. MashaAllah, tabarakallah. Now, last question for you, Naima, and I think that's probably the most important, and I left it until the end, but uh, the reason why I see so many couples get a divorce, unfortunately, these past few years is because there is an issue with the man not stepping into his masculine ever at all. And you have a wife who's tired of trying and tired of putting in place these maneuvers to make him a little bit more masculine and more of a leader and more assertive and more of this and that and that. And this is usually a woman who was stuck in her masculine energy, in her wounded masculine, but on her side, she has tried everything to become the feminine woman.
Mm.
What is your say on this? Because I feel like this is the problem that most Muslim women come to me with. I want to be taken care of, but I don't have the husband who seem to be able to do that. What's the solution there?
Okay. I've worked with this situation probably over 100 times now, and honestly, it's so doable. I'm a very capable woman. I like to be taken care of, but I'm also very capable. I very much know I can do a lot of things. I can take care of a lot of things, but that doesn't mean I'm going to. So the first thing you need to understand and the first thing you need to look at is where am I enabling this cycle to continue? Okay. When I talk about man stepping up as well, that doesn't mean like people going to like make this black and white, oh, he has to step on up in every single area. We're booking that holiday, and now I don't want to, my hands are tied. I don't know how to do it. If you want to go and do it, go do it. It's not going to make you masculine. Just go and do it for goodness sake. If you want to go and start decorating the house and you're going to say, I want to take the lead on that, that's not going to make you more masculine. But there's going to be certain things, and you need to make it very clear within yourself. What are the things that I no longer want to take control on? What are the things that I no longer want to be stepping up for? What are the things that just don't feel good for me anymore? And we both know that that is his job to do. Like, for example, if it is where he's struggling to hold down a job, how are you enabling this cycle? I had a client of mine who was in this very same position where I'll talk about my clients because it's a lot easier because I've worked with these situations and seen the results. So I can talk about it with confidence. I had a client of mine, her husband was unable to hold down a job. So that meant that at the end of the month, when it comes to paying the rent and paying the bills, what would he do? He would go to his very successful wife and say, "Can I borrow some money?" And this was happening again and again every month. And she, being the lovely woman that she is, remember, a lot of these women who are enabling these behaviors are very, very nice women. They're very supportive, they're very loving. She would go and give him the money. Yeah, my husband, let me give you the money. And he would take it, pay the bills, and then the next month, same thing would happen. And it was just an endless cycle. And I said to my client, you need to stop. You need to have boundaries with yourself first and foremost. Loving, soft boundaries. Not, no, I'm not gonna do this anymore and like have a rant and like go all cold on him is not. There's a lot of things that we obviously put into place, but not to take too much time up. We put in soft, loving boundaries, trusting that her husband could be the man, looking at him and believing in him the way she believed in him. And guess what? She messages me, my husband has finally he's got a good job. We've moved into a better place. Then a couple of months later, he's got an even better job and he's thriving. We've moved into like this, he's paying the bills. I haven't paid the bills since then. Why? She stopped being an enabler. So sometimes, right, we can sit there saying, oh, he's not doing enough. You need to look at it. Be honest with yourself. I can't tell your husband to go and do more, but what I can do is see where are you being an enabler and stopping that cycle. Because when you become that woman that he looks at and starts to think, I want to take care of her. I want to look after this woman. There's no way a man does anything that he doesn't want to do. I'm a big believer of this. I can tell my husband 50 million times, help me with the kids' homework. If he doesn't want to do it, he won't do it. No matter how many times he promises himself is going to do it, no matter how many times he feels bad about it, he will not do it. He needs to look at me and look at our family and think, oh, I want to help her. I feel good. I want to help her. So it really goes to this two simple things. Where you're becoming an enabler and stopping that, how your husband feels about you and how you show up. Because if you're that woman who's so frustrated and you're coming from a place of, I'm so frustrated now, I'm so angry, he's not going to want to help you. He's
Yeah.
not going to want to help you. So you're going into this place of being unbothered. I've surrendered. I've let go. I'm going to look at the way I'm making him feel and I'm just letting go. And trust me, that is when they start stepping up. This has happened in my own life. I use the same thing in my own life all the time. I have so much support, alhamdulillah. I don't, my husband doesn't come from that background where men would do like, loads of things for in the house. Come from a very traditional background. Alhamdulillah, my husband helps me so much because I've let go. I'm not looking at him saying it has to be done my way on my terms. I have let go and let him be. And the more he does that, the more he believes he can, he's building his own confidence as a husband, as a man, as a father. The thing is, what we don't realize is a lot of these men, it's the first time being a father, it's the first time being a husband. How are they meant to just know everything? Part of this journey is allowing them to build their confidence by stop mothering them, just letting them be and being that woman that he looks at and thinks, damn, I really want to take care of that woman. I like her. I fancy her. I am attracted to her. Why do I not want to be the man for her? So there's so many things that we're working on here, from being that fierce feminine woman that has the boundaries to that softer embodiment of the woman that can make him feel good, to the woman that can bring in that attraction, really bring in that attraction again. When you step into all of these feminine traits, like when you work on nurturing all of these feminine traits, your husband will want to be the man that you want him to be. That works for your family, not in a selfish way. He'll want to do it because he'll be like, wow, I want to take care of this family. It feels so good for me. Everyone's winning, everyone's thriving, everyone's relaxed, and the children as well, they're just like, it's just such a nice environment for them. So that just sums up my work, basically. I feel so deeply about it and I'm so passionate about it because it's frustrating because I can see that it can change for some people, but there's just that thing, that light bulb moment that needs to go off in some women's heads that I find that, okay, maybe there needs to be a different approach. I can't come at this angry and frustrated all the time.
Yeah, 100%. And my advice is for the woman who has had that light bulb moment, don't wait too long to seek help from someone like Naima, because having been in that position where I could tell I was not satisfied and I wasn't fulfilled, and I feel like in a lot of marriages, the man is pretty content. If the house is not on fire, the man is content. But the woman knows that something is missing in her life and something is
Oh
not
yeah.
aligned, like she's not in the position that she wants to be in terms of femininity and responsibilities. When you have that moment, ladies, don't wait too long to seek help. And I'll be honest with you, what will happen if you do is that at some point you are going to check out of the relationship and you will be out of it. Without it, I'm not even talking about divorce here. I'm talking about the fact that women mentally are checked out a long time before they ask for a divorce.
Oh yeah.
You don't
The
want to get to that.
divorce, the same divorce is right at the like right when they are done. Like they are so done. They can't handle another moment of it.
Yeah.
Why wait until then?
Don't wait because I feel like marriage is so important and there are a lot of things, as you said, that can be fixed, especially if you have children involved. And I always say this, you don't want to get to that point where there's no return possible. And for me, that's the moment where you start looking at your husband and you don't have an ounce of respect or admiration for him anymore. Don't go there. Don't even wait until you get to that point.
Mm.
Contact someone like Naima and get the support that you need to reverse the dynamics in your relationship and to co-create together with your spouse a beautiful and healthy relationship and marriage, inshallah.
Alhamdulillah, yeah, that's so true. Because we often find that us as women, like a sign that you're in your masculine energy is you wait until you're dying to get support. See yourself as worthy of support. If you aren't there yet where you don't see yourself as worthy of support, then it's something that you really need to deeply look into. Maybe you don't see yourself as worthy of it yet. But the most feminine women are the ones that receive the support. They're always looking, how can I make my life easier, simpler, more relaxed? I want to be supported. I love being supported. When I order something online and it comes to my door, I'm like, thank you, Allah, for the support from being able to order something next day delivery. I just love support. I love to be able to have somebody pick up my bags for me. I'm obsessed with getting support from my coaches and mentors, from the people in my life. Walk through life. I will give everyone a skill, something that I do, something that I love to do every single day. I walk through life and I walk through my day and I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm so supported. Everything that I do, even this seat behind me, this sofa behind me, I'm supported by it. I am supported by this table that I have my laptop on. I'm supported by that lovely man that helped me in the underground yesterday and carried my pushchair down the stairs, by the woman who opened the door for me. Go through life believing you are so supported and go through life looking for support because that is when you will be relaxed, not trying to juggle everything on your own, and you will just be more pleasant to be around as well. Nobody wants to be around a person who's running around like a headless chicken, feeling like the whole world is so difficult for her all the time. So that is my advice to you and to any of the ladies listening, because this has worked so well for me. I love living like this, and I really hope that you can live like that too.
100%. And for the woman who's the opposite of that and who thinks I can't become that woman who loves to receive support, trust me, it is possible. Because I used to be the girl who's like, oh, I'm a strong man. I've got my big boys boots on and I don't want help from anyone. I can do it all alone. I couldn't rely on anyone. I couldn't trust anyone. And I thought I was the girl, like the top G, just because I was behaving
Why
like
were we like this?
because I didn't have a strong father figure, and I didn't have a good relationship with my brother, so I literally could only rely on myself to survive. And the stories that I had in my head were that I could only count on myself. And I want to
Yeah.
tell you something, like you touched upon self-worth as being the reason why some women struggle to seek support. It's definitely one of those, but sometimes it's actually arrogance.
Oh, arrogance.
When you don't seek help because you think you can do it better than everyone, you are just being an arrogant brat. Stop that. Put
Can I
your
tell you a secret?
tell me
I sometimes know I can do it better than other people, but I don't want to.
exactly.
Don't want to anymore. I know I could do that better, but please, I beg you, just take it off my plate because I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
I know I'm a very capable, smart woman. I'm very intelligent and very capable. I can do it better, but I don't want to do it anymore. Like, please take that burden off my shoulder, take it off my plate.
Mm.
100%. I think arrogance is, yeah, that's a sneaky one that comes up.
Yeah. And now I'm a professional at delegating, just like you said. I love seeking support. Like I don't even cook my meals anymore. That's how far it's gone. Like my husband is always teasing me about how bougie my life is because everything is served to me on a silver platter.
Alhamdulillah, we have the Queen Sumaya.
Alhamdulillah. Like so it is possible to create that shift. And I think the thing that's going to take you from being the ultra unhealthy independent woman to being a woman in her soft feminine is inner work 100%. So get in touch with Naima. Naima, how can people work with you?
Just hit me up in my DMs.
On
No,
Instagram
seriously,
at
like
Naima
seriously,
Akhtar.
just drop me a message in my DMs. I will get back to you. Just tell me to best get a response from me is drop me a message, tell me what you're working with, and if I feel like you're a good fit for my program, I only have one program because I'm not putting more things on my plate at the moment. It's called the Peaceful Passionate Marriage. I can drop you the link for it, or just hit the link in my bio and it'll take you straight to it. There's all the information there. But don't wait around because I'm saying this for me and for you. We're going to be doing a lot more undoing work before the doing work. So it's just easier when you're not dealing with all the resentment like 10 times over. The biggest regret, I don't like the word regret, but the biggest thing that people say is, why didn't I do this earlier? Why did I not do this earlier? I've been hovering on that application form for like a whole year and I didn't submit it. Why didn't I do it earlier? Because if I knew what I like know now, then it would have been a game changer. But yeah, definitely you're worthy of the support, you're worthy of the relationship that you want, whether it's in this one that you're in right now or the one that's coming for you in the future, inshallah. Honestly, ladies, just believe that good things are coming your way.
Mm, absolutely. I will put the information to get in touch with Naima in the description box below, inshallah, for anyone who wants to get in touch. Even if you don't work with her, go and follow her on Instagram. Again, her content has been stirring some polemics sometimes, but it is good in terms of waking you up and really helping you face the realities of how this world is turning you into something that you're not supposed to be. So thank you so much
It
for the work.
was so nice speaking to Sumaya. Honestly, it's so refreshing. Every single time I speak to you, you leave me with a really nice feeling inside. It's just you have something about you. So
It's all
uh,
from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
it was really
Alhamdulillah.
lovely speaking to you.
Alhamdulillah. Thank you so much for your knowledge, your energy, and your beautiful presence. May Allah reward you for everything that you
Ameen,
do.
Ameen. May Allah bless you with even more.
Ameen, Ya Rab. Thank you everyone for listening, and I'll see you very soon, inshallah. Ma salama.